All right, back to work on the twin turbo setup for my Jeep. This is a 383 that's in the Jeep, has just a standard 350 block and a 350 oil pan. And I added a drain for the turbos to go into. So the turbos will get fed from the back of the block where the oil pressure sensor's at, goes through the turbos, the two hoses will come together, and then they'll drain into the block right here. This is a fitting I got from the general store in Spokane. It just kind of sandwiches on there. It's got a neoprene gasket on each side of it, and then I welded a really thick washer on to the outside of the block so that there would be less on this side sticking in, just to make it thicker so that this wouldn't stick in so far. Could have cut that off, I suppose, as well, but I liked how the idea of having that a little more rigid right there. And then I got this really cool gasket. Usually for a small block Chevy of this year range, this gasket is actually in 4 pieces. You'll have this piece, you'll have this piece, and then each end is a separate rubber piece. Especially with the engine in the vehicle and being, well, basically right side up but upside down, where you can't just set the gasket pieces on the block. It's super hard to do. This kit comes all one piece. It's got all the fittings that fit down inside and everything. It's got these, I don't know if you can see it, but you can see these ribs for extra sealant. The whole thing's made out of, it looks like really good material. Comes with all new bolts, because this is a little thicker. I would say quite a bit thicker than a cork gasket. Comes with all new bolts. And then the other really cool part is has these, see it, plastic holders, and you screw these into the block and then you shove the gasket up on, and then the pan on, it'll hold the pan on while you put the rest of the screws in. So it should be a pretty good swap. Should be a lot better than the original stuff that was in there. Looks like it all fits. Oh, and that's the other thing. It's universal. Different years had the oil dipstick on different sides of the block, so it has either or right here. This is where the dipstick would stick in on whatever year block you'd want for older 350 style small block Chevy. So, yep, that's the next step. I'm gonna get that put in. Okay, so I'm loading under the Jeep right now, looking up at the bottom of the engine. And this is how this gasket setup works. It's got these pins that you screw into the block, and then that'll hold the gasket in place. And then you push the pan up over and it'll snap over these little pieces right here, and then you can put in the rest of the screws, these ones, and then you pull these, these guys screw out. They have a screw tip on the end of them, and then you put the corner bolts in. I added, this kit says that it doesn't need any sealant, but on the front here where the timing chain cover is, and this connection right here on this front seal, it just didn't look like that corner right here was gonna seal even with this really good gasket. So I put some sealant in this corner, and then while I was at it, I just put a little bit back here in this corner. I have a friend that used the same gasket and he said it never leaked, so I'm just doing little extra precautionary measures. And then this is what you call a balanced motor, where each component is balanced so the engine has less harmonics. You can run higher RPMs and stuff. And it's actually, there's still a bunch of the markings from when they did that all over the bottom here, which I thought was kind of cool. So I'll show you a little video after I get the pan snapped in there. Okay, I got the pan set up here. You can see these are the alignment plastic, I don't know what you want to call them, bolt aligner tools, whatever they are. And then I got all these guys just snugged in, not tight but snug. And now I'm going to take these out and put in the permanent bolts, and then I'll snug this side and then this side, working my way out both directions, probably 3 or 4 times until it's tight. I honestly don't know what the torque specs are for an oil pan. I've never used a
torque reach on the oil pan. It's right in between. That's not tight enough, and crap, I broke a bolt. So I'm gonna try to stay in that range. Okay, oil pan's on. Tightened down real nicely, everything fit. And as you can see, the blue A&N fitting sticking out of the side there. It's for the oil, for the turbos to drain into the oil pan. And that's it for this section of my build.